Hello my friend, it's Pat Sloan here with my daily video, and today I have allergy eyes. Oh my goodness, something out there has been blooming for the last few days, and so my left eye in particular is like, so if I look like I'm sitting here with left eye shut, I probably am because it's itchy and watery and so it'll go away in a few days. It generally does. So today our question of the day is on or off on our daily calendar. So on or off, what could that be? Well, how about your shoes? Do you sew with your shoes on or your shoes off? I am a shoes on girl. I don't run around in my bare feet hardly at all. I always wear shoes and I wear socks a lot. So that is me, and I know some of you are shoes off. So tell me in the comments. But do not show me any bare feet, because you know some people have a thing about that. So it's like, no, don't do that. All right, let's talk about Crumb Blocks. The ongoing, this will be like every so, well, it'll be a lot during, because I seem to be making lots of crumbs and they just multiply every time I turn around. So I did work on that group that I was like horrified to find that I had forgotten about. So let me show you. I have this block here. There we go. So this guy here, and I have some little tiny pieces in here, and that's what I want to show you, because look at these. Look at these little slivers. Now, how do you work with these? These are tiny in there. So I want to show you how I work with those. And this is what they look like when I was doing trimmings. This is the little pieces. They are not very wide. I don't even think they're a ½ inch. They're less than a ½ inch, I think. Oh, they're about ½ inch. Okay, so those are about ½ inch wide. So when I sew them on an edge, and then when I go to press them, I press them to the main part of the block. Allergies, so you can see it's pressed towards the main part of the block. That way, when I go and sew this next unit on, that will be pressed towards the main part of the block. Everything gets pressed towards the main part of the block because you don't have a lot to work with here when you only have a ½ inch. I also usually put them on with a little bit less than a1/4 inch seam allowance so that it doesn't just get all sucked up away. You still get some of it there. Now this one, I also was working on the English paper piecing for the old school, so I ended up with some of these fabrics. I'm going to show you that in a minute. So these are going to get sewn together as a strip that will go over here. So I will sew them, and that will go on that side. So to try to get these to about a little over 8 inches for each block. That is what I'm going for on the on these Crumb Blocks, which is working out, I think, pretty good size, because basically I get kind of bored after a while. If it's gotten that big, I want to move on to do another one. So around 8 inches, between 8 and 9 inches is working out really well. Okay, so the old school, this is the English paper piece, and this is the actual middle part. So I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more hexes to put on the center. Then there's 2 more rounds. I have the light round, which is already made, and then I'll probably do this black round again. And then it'll go in the peach background. A couple people asked me again if I would show how I glue. So I will do that. I will do that. It's don't overthink things. That's where everybody, I think, we often get into trouble where we're overthinking what's going on. So I have to have a little bit of seam allowance around this in order to make it work. So I could cut it by hand, or I could cut it with the rotary cutter. So I can just sort of do a loose cut here and just get a piece. And then I have an extra piece here, so I want to put that, close the blade. So now I have the paper. Now this one is not, you know, it's just the floral, so I'm not fussy positioning anything. So I take the glue stick, any kind of glue stick made for fabric. This one's got a big fuzzy on it. Okay, so I need to pull the glue up. There we go. Hold on. Okay, so I like to do two opposite sides, or I can go all the way around. It just depends on what I'm feeling. So if I want to, when I start, I have to put all the glue on the paper or the fiber, whichever you're using, because this is the firmer part. It's harder to scrape glue on fabric. You tug it, you end up tugging it. So you put it on the paper or the fiber, the stay-in fibers, and then you just fold it over, right? Now, if you want to just go around the edges, now at this point, I don't want to just do the paper because this whole fold has to adhere. So I'm going to do across the whole length, which includes the seam allowance I just folded there. So that has glue on it. So go around. Once again, I'm going on the seam allowance I folded under, and then on the fiber or paper, whichever insert you're using, and folding it. So you just continue, until when you get to the last one, one more. Okay, the last one, you're going to have two seam allowances there, right? So you have this seam allowance and this seam allowance. So I'm just going from edge to edge, and then folding that over. So ta-da, and then there's your hexie. So you are trying to adhere this so that it stays in position when you're stitching, because when you're stitching, you do not want it flopping open. Another way people do it, well, hand-based, I find the glue much easier. It's water soluble, so that when you wash the quilt, it'll come out. There's a few more packets of the 3/4 inch stay-in papers. The link is down below in the description box, and while you're there, click the subscribe so that we can be friends all the time, and the little bell, ding ding ding, so that you get a notice when there's a new video. And the 3/4 inch papers are the kind that stay in. They're a fiber, they're not a paper, they're a fiber, and so they stay in. This is what the packages look like that I use that are paper, so I got one of those too to show you, and these are 3/4 inch. That's not the hexie on the front. That's just a drawing. So they're 3/4 inch, which is the length of the side, not the whole unit. The whole unit is bigger than 3/4 inch. The side, each side of the hexagon is 3/4. All right. Now, another thing about scraps, because that's generating scraps. You know, when I'm trimming, here, like some of these things will become scraps I can use. And so I've got my rolling cart over here, my assistant. And this box does not have anything to do with scraps, so not really. I don't know why it's there. So I have all of these from another project that got started for the next book, and then I have these sort of left over from everything else that's been going on. These few here that I just showed you that got taken from the hexies, so those are ones that I'll be working on. But I have those stars all done. Remember I showed you the stars? And now I need to pick a border around it. So I thought I'd show you what I was doing, what borders were happening. So first I got out a navy, because I thought, okay, well maybe I'll do a navy. So if you lay the fabric down, this is how I audition, so that I can get a feel for what's going on. You just open the fabric, if you can open it up really big so that you can put everything on it. Now I will be having a border around all this so that the stars do not get sucked into the edges of the pillow. I don't want them folded under the edges. So I need a kind of, wide-ish, I haven't decided what pillow. I have a bigger pillow. I might actually make it on a bigger pillow and put those in the middle. So here's navy. So I thought, oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Well, what else do I have? What if I wanted to do a light fabric? So here's one that I found, which has some like little speckles. So it's blue, there's sort of navy blue dots. And there is on that. So that gives a very light colored pillow. And I thought, okay, I'm not so keen on that. It's not bad, but it's not the best. So I thought, well, what about a solid in sort of a great blue? And I have this blue, like it's sort of like that summer blue, I think. Is there such a thing as a summer blue? I just invented it if there's not. I now have invented the summer blue. So here is a blue which is real similar but not exact to what's in the blocks. And I like that a lot. And I actually like this one, I think, best, but you can chime in as to which one you like best. What I like is I like it feeling lighter, but the navy was good. The navy, they did sort of pop off of there, you know, pretty nicely. So those are the two. But I'm leaning towards the lighter one just because I want it to feel light for summer and not dark, like that dark navy. So I am ready to be able to do these. Now there were some extra sew and flips from the Jolly Bar 3 friendship bracelet. You know, these are where all these little half square triangles came from. So I still have a handful of these. Oh, and that's why this box is here. Now I remember why the box is here. So in this box, I have baggies of all of these that I've been saving from the projects. Oh goodness. And apparently a whole stack that still needs trimmed to 1.5 and ironed open. So that will have to get out here to get worked on. So we have those. Those have to go in here so that I can keep track of all of those for my future idea. A future idea. The last thing I want to show you is, I did it. I finished the cross stitch from Bloomtopia. So I did a few creative changes. So I made the basket full. I also added three more. I added these two little sort of sprinkles, and then I added another sprinkle up here. I felt that that balanced it out. And so I'm going to make this into a little mini quilt because it's rectangular. You know, I'm not going to frame it or anything. I'm just going to make a little mini quilt and hang it on the wall. So now I have to look at some fabrics for that border. Remember, my goal is to try to do this one before the end of the month, which is tick-tocking here really fast. So here's some borders. Oh, let me just scroll you in a little bit more. So I'll just lay them out here. I kind of like this one in a way. It's got this bigger geometric, which is kind of cool, but it doesn't have a lot of different colors. So it's keeping it very blue. For some reason, this feels like to me I should have blue. So I'm going to show you all blue options, because you could definitely go with like this fuchsia and pull out some of that color. You could put green, you could put peach, but I decided that it would be blue. So here's another one with a very bold geometric. It might be a little too bold. It's a bigger scale, so that when I put this fairly small border on it, it might just be, that's just like all you see. So that is not my favorite. I want to show you one with some other colors in it, and this is a older print from somewhere that I've had for a long time, and it's got herbs and berries and things, which brings the other colors, which I like. It's got some yellow in it, it's got green, it's got the fuchsia, it's got some plum, and so this is kind of neat. But I think, once again, like this one, it's too busy. It has too much. So I like this lattice work because it is calming, and I like the tone of it. It just depends on whether I feel that scale is too big, the lattice work. But that's definitely in the pile to consider. And I found this one, which has a little pop of red. It's a small scale print, but once I put it there, I just wanted to show it to you because as soon as I laid it down, I was like, nah, it does nothing. It does nothing to enhance this. It might be a great inner border. Like if I were going to put it as an inner border, you know, and then put this over top. Now that could work. That could be a great combination. So that's a good one. And then the other combination I have is my own Morrison Park, which is the blue with the little scattered flowers. And then I thought if I put an inner border of the stripe. So those are my options. And so chime in. Tell me what you think. Which ones did you like? I'm leaning towards one of these combos. Those are my two favorites. All right, my friend. Remember, links are down below. Come on over and join my Facebook group at Quote Along with Pat Sloan. I love you. Mwah. See you online.